From SF Land, this is Dorking Out, a podcast for people who love to dork out about movies, TV, and everything pop culture.
Welcome to Dorking Out. My name is Sonia Mansfield, and pop quiz hotshot. Guess who's joining me? It's my podcasting sister from another mister and the co-host of Dorking Out, Margo D. Hello, my friend.
Hey, friend. I'm on my couch right now with my two cats, and we're driving between 50 and 60 miles per hour. We can't let it go below that, but we got a good connection, and we're going to keep with it.
I really hope the bomb doesn't go off. That would be awful.
So do I.
The fur would be flying. If you guys didn't know, in this episode, we are talking about 1994 Speed, and I'm really excited. This is the 25th year anniversary of Speed. It came out in June 1994. I can't believe it's 25 years old.
I know. I was 5 years old when I saw it, I guess, because there's no way I'm older than that. No, I remember seeing this in the movie theater and loving it like crazy. And It was like the film to see that summer.
I also saw it in the theater. I think I saw it like opening night or maybe that Saturday night, and telling everybody, because I worked at the theater, but it wasn't playing at my theater, and telling everyone, Speed is awesome. You need to go see Speed. And everyone's like, the bus movie? Like nobody believed it was good. And I was like, oh, you're in for such a surprise because it's so good. Also, I should mention, it is the 25-year anniversary of City Slickers 2, The Legend of Curly's Gold, and we'll talk about that one next week.
Okay, I have to say, I do like the first City Slickers very much.
Yeah, no, the first one's great. The first one's great.
I think it's very entertaining.
Yeah, the second one, there's a reason nobody talks about that.
Yeah.
So Speed, it stars Keanu Reeves, and this was kind of a big deal. Keanu Reeves, he wasn't like an action movie guy. Like, he had done Point Break, but he was still really known for like Ted from Bill and Ted. Like, he wasn't an action movie guy. And since this movie, he's really gone on. The Matrix, John Wick, like, he's an action movie guy now. So,
oh, absolutely.
Keanu Reeves in this movie was a big deal. Sandra Bullock was not a star. She was, hey, it's that chick from Demolition Man. It also had Jeff Daniels, Joe Morton, and Dennis Hopper, who, he's Dennis Hopper. Come on. Everyone loves Dennis Hopper. But it was written by this guy named Graham Yost, who he hadn't hardly done anything before this. And he wrote like he went on to write like Band of Brothers and The Pacific, and he wrote for Justified, but before this it was like a whole lot of nothing. And then it's directed by Jan de Bont. Am I pronouncing that right?
Jan.
God, I'm so stupid
it's
with
Dutch.
names.
When it's Dutch, you have to do that.
And he was this was his first movie. He was a cinematographer before this, and he did like Die Hard and Flatliners and Basic Instinct and Hunt for Red October, stuff like that. So this movie like kind of had no business being as good as it is.
and supposedly they ran out of money filming it, and so they showed what they could to an audience, and at the very end they basically had like a cartoon sequence of the subway scene. They just sort of did a flip show of that, and the people in the audience loved this movie so much that they got the money to do the very last scenes, on the LA train system. But they knew it was going to be a big hit, and they moved it up. It was going to be supposed to be released in August, and they moved it up to June. But it was like that little movie, like everybody turned it down. Like on the men's side, really big. Stephen Baldwin turned it down. I mean, who has no business turning anything down?
Right? He should have been thankful for the work.
Oh my God.
He was waiting for that fat like threesome money to roll in.
Oh, that would be so disturbing.
Oh God, we need to put threesome on the list.
We do.
Well, and Usual Suspects, I guess that was the next year. But after that, Stephen Baldwin was over.
Yeah.
But everybody passed on this movie.
And then the Sandra Bullock part, like every woman Halle Berry said no to it.
Mm-hmm.
It mustn't have been, I guess the original script, they said, oh, it just sounds like Die Hard on a bus. And Die Hard was a hit. and everything did become Die Hard on a blankety blank
Yeah.
for years. But Joss Whedon, what we talked about Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Joss Whedon rewrote the script, all the dialogue. And it's a lot of that stuff that's like, does kind of draws you in and makes you care about these people.
I loved Sandra. I just fell in love with Sandra Bullock in this movie.
Absolutely.
She
you wanted her to be your best friend, right?
Yeah, she is so fun and she's so cute, and I still love her haircut in this movie, the little bob with the bangs, which by the way, I totally had in 94. So,
yep.
You know, I was like, she's like me. And it was so smart to put her, I like that they put her behind the wheel, that she's the one driving the bus, because it makes her like the hero as well.
Yeah, she is the hero.
And she is like such an audience stand-in too. Like, she is like the character that gets, I think, all the best lines. But she's also the audience stand-in who acknowledges, well, this is dumb, or, you know, well, I can't drive the bus tomorrow, I'm busy, you know, stuff like that. Like, she's just really cute.
She's so adorable. And I've never heard one bad word about her anywhere at any time. Like, she has such a good reputation. And I do have a story about her I can tell.
Oh, I want to hear it.
Okay. So a friend of mine was working in LA like 15 years ago, trying to be an actress, working at a restaurant. And Sandra Bullock had a birthday party for a friend of hers and rented out the restaurant. And it was this really cool event. And when the event was done, Sandra Bullock wrote a thank you note to every single person who worked there. The waiters, waitresses, everybody.
Oh my God. I'm like I don't do that.
No. And I have another story, but I'll tell you off the air because a friend of mine knows her.
Oh,
but,
okay.
But it's all good things. Like, I've never heard one, but when I heard that about her, I was like, what a decent human being. That's like beyond decent.
Yeah.
Like, she's a sweetheart. She really is such a lovely human being. And you just find her so likable. So you're just rooting for her right away. I love the cute little outfit. That was how I used to dress in the 90s. Like, that dress with the boots and the socks, like the whole thing.
I do think it's funny that at the beginning of the movie, she's introduced by she's running for the bus, and, you know, Sam, yelling for the bus driver, and he stops and he lets her on. And I'm like, well, that's actually the most unrealistic part of the whole movie. That
everybody says that.
That a city bus driver would stop and let someone else on. I'm like, I ride the bus here in San Francisco all the time. That never happens. Never. I'm willing to believe the bus can jump a gap on the freeway, but I won't believe that a bus driver will stop for you.
That's the one thing they're asking you to believe, but everything else I think is pretty accurate. I mean, we have Alan Ruck there as the newbie to LA. He's traveling. I mean, it's a bus filled with like different kinds of people, and she's riding it because she had too many speeding tickets. She lost her driver's license. And then Keanu Reeves. Well, we first meet him, and oh my God, how handsome is he in this movie?
So stupid handsome.
And he still is.
I know.
Is he a wizard?
He must be. He's like Paul Rudd. Like, he's got like a old man painting of himself in an attic somewhere. Like, he's a wizard.
Yeah, he looks great. I only hear nice things about him as well.
Yes.
That he's super generous and nice. I mean, these are just all nice people. Jeff Daniels is a nice person. I mean, Dennis Hopper, I think, is the only one who's a little bit of a kook. But everybody else.
He earned it.
Yeah. He earned it. He lived a life.
He's not a kook, Margo. He's eccentric. Because he's rich.
Yeah.
Poor people are crazy, remember? Rich people are eccentric.
Very true. Yeah, he died in 2010.
Yeah. What do you think about him in this movie?
I think he's fantastic. I think he's a great bad guy. And I know he was like worried about playing another bad guy, but I think he's great. Is it believable? Maybe not, but so what? It's a movie. I'm watching a movie.
I think he's so good in it. And I just love it when, like, the idea that he's like, I don't really have like a lofty purpose. Like, he actually says, like, I wish I had a lofty purpose, but in the end, it's just the money, Jack. Like, and it's just, and the way he delivers the line is so funny. It's like, no, just pay me. I want my money. Like, I just think he's really great in it. And I just think everybody everyone knows the movie they're in. And that's part of what's fun about it. Like, I realize, like, everyone on the bus, it's like kind of like stereotype bus, like, I'm the touristy guy, I'm the nervous old lady, I'm, Hispanic guy who, I'm like, why? I don't know why they have the scene. Well, I know why they have the scene with like the young Hispanic kid that shoots the bus driver, but I wish he wasn't a young Hispanic kid. I'm like, could you made him a white guy or something? It's like kind of a bummer, like, that part. But like, I'm fine with that. Like, I actually really like the interaction between the different people on the bus.
They were not, there's a great podcast called I Was There Too, and it's not around anymore, but you can get it on Stitcher. And he interviewed all the people who play characters on the bus.
Oh my God. That's so cool.
And they all stayed friends afterwards. And they all said that Keanu and Sandra were terrific and just great to work with. And they were super psyched because they got stunt pay because they actually did that stunt going on the bus to the other thing. And they were all terrified to do it. Like, that's their real reactions. But yeah, the director and everybody like gave them characters to play. So they do feel like real people after a while. And you do care about everybody.
You really do. And I just like their interactions. I love when they're like, why are the police here? Are they going to help us? And Cameron from Ferris Bueller says, of course they are. They're the police. And, everyone looks at each other like, stupid white guy doesn't know shit about police. It's like, just like funny, like little things like that make me laugh. I think it's really good.
It is. And it's, I like all the little characterizations. There's the lady that has the glasses.
Yeah.
And yeah, so she said she was a librarian. And she actually got to be good friends with Keanu Reeves because he was into being a vegan at the time. And he had this whole like vegan recipe that he taught her that she's for rice that she still makes to this day.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. Can you imagine? But yeah, it was.
Vegans represent.
Represent.
I could totally see Keanu Reeves being a vegan.
I could totally, yeah. And just like baking rice, but, and teaching somebody how to make it.
Yeah. He seems like he's that kind of person. He is just like having a moment right now where, I mean, everyone loves Keanu Reeves, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you don't, it's a serious fucking character flaw if you don't like Keanu Reeves. Like, by all accounts, is like a decent human being. He's trying to make movies that you will enjoy. Like, he's not just making a bunch of shit. He's not making like, hi, I'm going to be in Grown Ups 3 or whatever. Like, he's really trying to like make movies that are worth your money and your time. I'm like, come on, Keanu Reeves is awesome.
I think it was a comedian, Jen Kirkman, put on Twitter. She says Keanu Reeves has the movie career that Johnny Depp thought he was going to have, which is so true.
It is true.
Yeah.
Because fuck Johnny Depp, seriously.
Because fuck him.
Yeah.
Well, so Keanu, when The Matrix became a big deal and they made all their money from that, he realized that the special effects people didn't make a lot of money from it because they were just on staff. So he gave them millions of dollars of his money. And he's been paying for doing a lot of charity work the last few years with like just totally under the radar, not making a big deal out of it. I think at his core, he's just a decent human being.
Imagine that.
No, I know. So I was surprised to find out that Jeff Daniels, excuse me, he was supposed to be a rogue cop. And the twist was supposed to be that he was going to be the bad guy.
Right.
But they changed that the last minute.
I think that's a good choice.
Oh, yeah.
Boy, I wouldn't want to play I wouldn't want to be a partner with Keanu Reeves. They seem to always die. Poor Keanu Reeves partners. It's very problematic. Whether you're Gary Busey or Jeff Daniels, you're going to meet an untimely demise.
But Jeff Daniels walks into that house, and just for a second there, he realizes what's going on. I remember in the movie theater, it devastated me.
Yeah, because you really, really like him.
He seems like a nice guy.
Yeah, he does. Yeah. And I think Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock have such fun chemistry in this movie.
They're in love.
Right? Yeah.
They're in love. Absolutely.
That's why That's why I didn't see Speed 2. Did you see Speed
Don't.
2?
I saw it in the movie theater because Roger Ebert gave it a great review.
Ebert.
And I was,
damn you,
fuck
Ebert.
Ebert. I'm going to give you cancer for that. Oh, shit. No, I'm sorry. And that movie is, I mean, Jason Patrick is the opposite of Keanu Reeves.
Right.
Like Jason Patrick always looks, he just has a sour puss going on with his face. And he's so uncomfortable. Yes.
Michael.
Michael. No, and it's on a boat, which is lame. And that's what Keanu Reeves said. Like, I'm not doing this on a boat.
I am fascinated that Speed 2 even happened. Like the idea that they made a sequel to Speed and it's not based on the action star, that it's based on like she's a star in Speed, but you know what I mean? Like on a supporting character, quote unquote. Like it would be like if they made Die Hard 2 and instead of Bruce Willis, it was like focused on the limo driver. You know, it's like, it doesn't make any sense.
I love Sandra Bullock.
Yeah.
But like she's there with that. Wait, what's the characters he's playing? Jack. She's not there with Jack. I don't want to see it.
Yeah, and that's so, you know, one of the things I always love to ask you is, do we think like certain couples are still together when we watch these movies? And it really bums me out, the idea that Jack and Annie wouldn't still be together, which is why I didn't go see it.
No, I don't buy it. They're together.
Yeah, I think I think she broke up with Jason Patrick and her and Jack got back together.
And they've been together ever since.
Yeah, that's the story I've built in my head. So.
And we're sticking to it.
Yeah, I don't care. Fuck you, Speed 2.
I will say I get kind of tired of it towards the end with the whole train sequence. Like,
I think
has she not been through enough shit?
Yeah, I feel so bad because there's a lot of things like this in the movie, right? So it's like, why is she anywhere near the money drop off?
Right.
You know, at that point. Why
is she just on the corner? She's like just on the street and he just walks up to her and takes her.
And, you know, he's a former cop. Like, does he not know there's going to be dye packs in the money bags? You know, why didn't they close the airport? You know, it's like I could just, you know, run down. But ultimately, like, that stuff doesn't matter. Like, because I think the movie's so fun. But there is like a little bit, like, by the time they get to the subway, you're like, okay. Like,
yeah, I'm a little tired by this point. Yeah. I think they just wanted to give him more to do, the Dennis Hopper more to do.
Yeah. And, you know, and the line, like, and he knocks his head off and it's like, well, I'm taller. You know, I'm like, meh. Like, but that's okay. It's not like my favorite line, but what do you think about the bus jumping over the gap?
I know how they did it because you can see on YouTube, they have the clips for it, and they don't jump over a gap. They just kind of go in the air and land.
Right.
But I think it's still one of the most thrilling sequences ever. I love it. I know it's not real and I don't care.
Same. I remember seeing this in the theater and basically the bus takes off like it's flying. And I don't give a fuck. Like, I was like, yes! And I remember like everyone was cheering when I saw it, like clapping and excited. They don't care. We don't care. Like, it's fine. It's an action movie. Like, it doesn't have to be realistic. It's not a documentary. Like, we're fine with it. I loved it when it jumped the gap. I don't care if that part is ridiculous.
I love that part, and I love the part where we talked about before when they transfer the people from the bus onto the thing. Mm-hmm. Even though it's like that's my biggest nightmare would be like walking across a plank like that.
What a nightmare.
It would bring up so much stuff for me, but I love that sequence. And I think it's because they did it real. Like they used the real actors and they did their own stunts. That really adds to it. So it adds to the thrill of it. You care about all these people, like I said. By the end, you want them to all be okay.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons that scene works too. Like I love when Cameron from Ferris Bueller, you know, instead of like taking the cop's hand, he takes Ortiz's hand to cross. Like it's just like these little moments between like the different passengers on the bus. Like he trusts Ortiz. He knows Ortiz is going to hold on to him no matter what, even though they, you know, argued earlier on the bus but they've been through some shit.
They've been through some shit.
Yeah. So he trusts him to like get him through. And I like those moments. And I like when they celebrate, like when they jump the gap or when they make the crazy right turn, and like they all have to like run to like one side of the bus to keep it from flipping over. By the way, I love that she turns the blinker on. Like it's like I think that made me laugh again in the rewatch. And I just like, love how they celebrate, or I love when Ortiz is talking to her and like she's like, "Hey, get your ass behind the yellow line." Like, just like just these little things in the movie that just make it fun.
That's what it is. It's just a fun film. There's nothing wasted there. I mean, it's just all, you just go on this ride and you care about all the people. And sure, it's got a lot of the tropes, the one cop that's really the risk taker, one cop that's like, no, maybe you don't. I mean, who cares? Who gives a shit? They do it well.
Yeah.
I think I saw an old Janine Garofalo clip where she was talking about like the people on the bus, and she goes, "Do they just go to Hollywood casting for stereotypes and get this?" And like, I'm like, well, what are they supposed to do? Like, how many black people should be there so that you're okay with it? So it's, you know what I mean? How many white people, how many black people, how many whatever? Like, I don't know. I just saw them all as characters, and I actually really liked about everyone there. I cared about them.
Well, I'm sorry, Janine Garofalo doesn't like fun.
She always like
this movie's super fun.
You've got a total bug up your ass if you're complaining about speed. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's plenty of other things you could complain about, by the way, including some movies she's made. So maybe she should be quiet.
Yeah, she should shut her pie hole.
And also, we should put The Truth About Cats and Dogs on the list.
I haven't seen that in years.
Actually, I remember thinking it was really cute.
It's cute.
Did you ever see The Lake House?
No, is that the one where Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock leave letters for each other? No.
Okay, I remember seeing it and thinking that's fine. But now, after watching Speed again, I kind of want to watch it again because I like them so much. But then I don't think they spend much of the movie together.
No,
in Lake House because they're
the whole time.
Yeah, they're like separated by time and space.
And the yellow line.
And the yellow line. Get behind the yellow line, Keanu Reeves.
And she's got to go like at a certain like speed, right? She can't go over under 50.
That's right. That's all it is. Lake House is speed 3, basically. I did read that she only did speed 2 because she wanted to get backing for Hope Floats.
Oh God, that movie.
And I was like, well, that shit ain't worth it.
No, it certainly wasn't. Neither was worth it. I can't tell you which is the bigger waste of time.
I'm like, because I don't recall thinking that one was particularly good either. I did love While You Were Sleeping.
While You Were Sleeping is one of my favorite romantic comedies ever. And I think she is so charming in that too.
Yeah.
I think she's so sweet and so believable.
Mm-hmm.
As like a token worker, like the train worker. She's always really winning. I can't think of any parts where I don't. No, there's something called All About Steve that's really terrible.
Oh, I didn't even see that one.
Oh, it's god awful. It's god awful, but it's not her fault.
Yeah, she works hard. She's
She
one
does.
of those people you could tell, like she's putting in the work. She's not just phoning it in.
Yeah.
And I can respect that.
Totally.
I'm like, what else do I want to say about Speed?
I love Joe Morton. He's always good in movies.
He's one of those underappreciated actors that when you see him, you're like, oh, cool. At least we got that guy.
Yeah. I always like him. I was saying that Keanu Reeves, this is between Little Buddha and John Mnemonic.
I don't think I liked either of those.
No, neither one's very good. And then Sandra Bullock, this was between Demolition Man and While You Were Sleeping.
I love, I haven't seen Demolition Man in a long time.
That's one Sylvester Stallone, right?
Yeah, I remember thinking it was entertaining, but I really like this one. Did you ever see Love Potion #9?
That's the one. That's like one of her first movies,
right? It was like her and Tate Donovan. I think they were even an item at the time.
Yeah, they were dating at the time.
It was pretty cute. It was cute.
Who was that guy she married?
Oh.
Jesse, what's his face?
Oh,
Jesse James?
Yeah. He turned out to be
He turned out to be
Yeah.
Ugh.
He's a fucking creep.
Yeah.
Well, he cheated on her for one thing, and then, which I can't comprehend that you would
No.
cheat on America's sweetheart, and then wasn't he like racist too or something? It turned out he was racist, like all this like
He's
racist.
a total Trumper and shit.
Oh, gross. Okay, we'll put him on the what a creep list. Yeah,
that's our other show, by the way, guys. What a creep.
Yeah, what a creep. You should be listening to that. That's where we talk about creeps. I totally forgot about this until I started dorking out about the movie and doing all my research, that a week after Speed came out is when O.J. Simpson went on his white Bronco ride through L.A.
Oh my God,
Isn't
that's
that interesting?
right.
And there's so much like similarity between what you see in Speed and what would happen with the OJ thing, just with the news, the helicopters and the news coverage and like everyone watching and, all of this stuff. And I was like, that's so funny. It was like a week later. And Speed was like one of those movies that it didn't open like huge. It wasn't like an Avengers, where it like opens and it's like everybody saw Speed. It was Speed came out, some people saw it, and it was word of mouth. Like that really, then it started to like pick up and more people went to go see it.
It's one of those movies people had to be like, is that the bus movie? And then you had to explain like, okay, yeah, it's on a bus most of the time, but it's really fun.
Yeah.
And Keanu Reeves is gorgeous.
Yes. And he made a few movies in the 90s that I really just saw because it was Keanu Reeves. Like he was one of those actors that like A Walk in the Clouds. Did you see that?
I know I did, but I can't remember what it's about.
He's beautiful in it. It doesn't matter.
What is he not beautiful in?
I know. He is
I
like,
think that's more of the story.
He is just like so gorgeous to look at. I don't remember shit about the movie other than he was like that. I love the poster for it even. Like he was just so handsome and I love him. And
Dana Buckler's show, they're talking about the Dracula movie that he made. And there's a clip on Twitter of somebody, I think it's Keanu Reeves trying to pronounce Bulgaria in an English accent. And it was like, oh, ouch. Not your strong point, dude.
He's also in Much Ado About Nothing, which is one of my favorite comfort movies. We've talked about it before. And I love that they kind of made him a character of they even say like, I'm a man of few words. And I'm like, that's probably for the best. Like, but he is very handsome.
I love him in Parenthood too. That's one of my favorite movies of his.
I love Parenthood so much. That movie makes me cry always.
Me too.
Oh my God. We need to put it on.
It's schmaltzy. We have to put it on the list, but I don't care. Yeah.
It's so good. There was another. Oh, have you seen the previews for the new Netflix movie with Ali Wong?
Oh yeah, it's so clever. The title of it.
Yeah, it's like always
be my maybe.
Yeah, and it's got Keanu Reeves in it
and Daniel Day from Lost.
Mm-hmm.
And Ali Wong.
Yeah,
we love.
I am excited to see Keanu Reeves in a comedy.
I am too. I'm psyched for Keanu Reeves. I started the first John Wick movie, and no one tells you it's about a dog that dies in the first like 5 minutes.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Sorry,
no, thank you, sir.
I could have gave you the heads up on that. I really like I watched 1 and 2. I haven't seen 3 yet. I am going to see 3. I just haven't seen it yet. It was hard, like that part's really hard, but the rest of the movie's really good. And I actually think it's kind of smart that they had these guys kill a dog, because then for the rest of the movie, you're like, fuck those guys. I hope they all die. And you're kind of fine with him just full on murdering people for another 90 minutes, because I'm like, well, if you're complicit in killing a puppy, you got to fucking go. Like, I'm fine with it.
Maybe I'll go through the first one. I'll just fast forward and look away and then just kind of dive into it.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll do that. Okay.
Because it is a really, like, the action is so, what do they call it? They call it like gun fu or something like that. Like the action is so great and over the top, and he's so great in it. He's not fun. It's not a fun performance, but they're kind of fun movies, if that makes sense, just because they're so
No, it's not Bill and Ted.
It's just so action packed. I really like them. And I could see why, John Wick 3 made like $1 gazillion because
I think everyone just likes Keanu right now. I think it's
Yeah.
just like you said, it's his decency mixed with his good looks, mixed with like a good film. I mean, all of it kind of comes together, and you can't fake it. I think it just like if people are like, oh yeah, that guy,
I think
he's
like
so cool.
Yeah, maybe it's because the world's kind of a dumpster fire right now, and we keep hearing about how shitty certain celebrities are, and a lot of news is celebrities behaving badly. And Keanu Reeves isn't one of those people. He's a decent human being, and we should celebrate that more often. I think maybe we're all responding to Keanu Reeves the same way we all responded to the Mr. Rogers documentary last year. Like
Right.
we just need it. Like we need something good, and he's good. So yay.
Just thank you, Keanu, for being you. And I'm sure he's not a perfect person, but who cares? He's
Yeah.
wonderful as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, and just like all the shit that he's been through in his life, and that he continues to do what he's doing and be decent to people. Like if anyone had a right to be like, well, I'm gonna be a drunk and an asshole, it'd probably be Keanu Reeves. And
Yeah, totally.
and he doesn't do those things. And I think that's awesome. Did you see the clip that was going around of him on Stephen Colbert?
Oh, when he said, oh God, what do you think happens when you die? And he says, the people on earth miss you. Oh my God, everyone who loves
I
I'm
know.
gonna cry. It really got to me. Yeah.
I'm like, Keanu Reeves, you really are you are little Buddha.
I think, didn't he lose a child?
Yeah.
I think he really knows what loss is.
I think he had his girlfriend. I don't think they were ever married.
Yeah.
Their baby was stillborn, which I can't even imagine. It's like the worst. It's the worst thing that can happen to parents. It's awful. And and then she died shortly after that, like in a car accident.
Yeah, something like that. And I was just like, he's been through so much.
But
Can you hear that?
mm-mm.
Okay. As soon as we said that he was a Buddha, my air conditioning went on. Like Keanu Reeves decided I was too hot, and he wanted to cool me off. And he started my air conditioner.
Basically, we are now
Thank
just
you,
like
Keanu.
Keanu is like our new god. Like that's it. Thank you, Keanu.
Well, yeah. Have you ever seen the movie Keanu, which is
No.
about the cats?
I haven't.
It's a simple joke. It's Key and Peele, and there's a cat that they call Keanu, and it gets kidnapped, and they're trying to get the cat back. And they have like 5 cats play the one Keanu cat, and one of them he's in a do-rag with a gold chain, and he's got like a little fang of a tooth, and he just goes meow, and it's so cute. You just want to cry. I know.
I do want to see it because it's I love Key and Peele, so I really should put that
And cats.
And cats. I do love cats.
You can do that when you're folding laundry. It's nothing you got to think about.
Okay.
It's like you put it on and you do something else.
That's good. Sometimes I like something like that. So that sounds perfect. I'll put it on my list. Would you like to hear the top 10 movies of 1994?
I certainly would.
Okay. Number 10, Clear and Present Danger. Did you see that one with Harrison Ford?
No, I'm not good at spy movies. I can't keep up. This is why I couldn't watch Game of Thrones either. Like anything with multi-layered plotting, I can't keep up. I'm too dumb.
That's not true. You're not dumb. You're super smart. Number 9 is Interview with a Vampire.
Oh, we got to do that one day.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we do. Number 8, 4 Weddings and a Funeral.
Which is having its anniversary, and a new movie's coming out soon.
We should put it on the list.
We should put it on the list.
Number 7 is Dumb and Dumber.
I love it.
Which I love Dumb and Dumber. God, this movie's fucking hilarious. Speaking of movies that aren't hilarious, though, number 6, The Flintstones.
Oh, I was going to say the B-52s had a Flintstone song come out. I saw this on my list. I'm looking up for the top songs of 94. I'm like, yeah, I'm not talking about that. And I just did.
Number 5 is Speed. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Good for you, Speed. Number 4, The Mask with Jim Carrey.
Yeah, that's good.
That one had good stuff. And Cameron Diaz is so cute in it. She's adorable.
So
everybody drink.
She's adorable.
Everybody drink. Number 3, True Lies.
Oh, yeah.
Number 2, Forrest Gump.
Oh, yeah.
And number 1 is The Lion King.
Oh, that's funny because I'm going to, they had a couple of songs from that soundtrack, and I'm going to talk
Yeah.
about some of the top songs from that time.
I'm
Let me
ready.
get my list. Okay. So it's Ine Kamoze, Here Comes the Hot Stepper.
I love that song.
Here comes the hot stepper.
I didn't mean to
murder
yell,
up.
but I got excited. I love that song. It is on my playlist.
It's an awesome song. Coolio, Fantastic Voyage.
I love that song too.
Warren G, Regulate. Like, that's one of the best songs ever.
It really is.
Elton John, Can You Feel the Love Tonight?
Oh,
Soundgarden, Black Hole Sun.
it's a good one.
Good one. And Beck, Loser.
I was so in love with Beck back in the day.
Oh, and he's a Scientologist.
I know. I still love his music though.
His music's great. He's so creative.
I was so in love with him. He was like my dream
He's cute.
man. Like Odelay Beck
Yeah.
was like my favorite. The Lion King soundtrack and the movie, all of that. Actually, Forrest Gump too, played at my theater. No joke. I'm not exaggerating. For more than a year. Those movies played at my theater for more than a year, and we had the soundtracks playing.
Oh yeah.
For a year. So I know
Forrest Gump had 2 soundtracks, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it did. And I remember Lion King because I saw it Thanksgiving Day. My sister and I went, and my mom had a friend come over. Her husband was on a business trip, so her friend had 2 young kids with her. She was going to come join us. And my sister and I are like, oh, well, we'll take the kids with us. You know, we don't care. And the mother was thrilled, like, great, take them. But I look at it years later, like, it was in the movie theater for like 6 months.
Yeah.
And we saw it then, yeah.
It forever. I thought it would never leave because it was literally on video and it was still playing in our theater.
No,
people
would
were
see things
coming
months
to see
later.
It. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and all Disney movies, like several of the Disney movies played at my theater. So like we had Little Mermaid, Aladdin, Lion King, like Beauty and the Beast, and they all stay for so long because like a lot of movies didn't come out for kids back then. So like
no, and it was easy babysitting. You know, you took them there for a couple, and Disney movies especially.
Right.
They're just super entertaining.
I mean, now there's like a kid movie, you know, like every other week or something, and
every week,
and they're mostly terrible garbage with like fart jokes and pop culture references that they don't get. But but Disney movies, yeah, they played forever. And other than Aladdin, which had a lot of pop culture, most of them are pretty timeless. So that's good. What else are you dorking out about, Margo?
I finally saw the Avengers Endgame.
Oh, that's right. What'd you think?
I went the other day. I loved it. I don't know half the people that are in there, like that final battle scene, which is incredible. But I sat there like, well, who's that? Who that? Who this? Who that?
How many
but
of the
I still
movies?
Loved it.
How many of the movies have you seen?
Like 3 or 4.
Mm-hmm.
I know who most of the people are. I'm not familiar with Doctor Strange. I don't know the girl on the horse. There's like a few things. I know I sound like a total asshole,
no.
But I knew enough. It didn't. I felt like I loved Fat Thor. I love Fat Thor. I think he's great. And Robert Downey Jr. should get an Oscar nomination. I think he holds that movie together.
Mm-hmm.
I think his performance is excellent. And the special effects are incredible. There's a scene where I loved it, where they go back in the 70s, and it's Michael Douglas, and it's probably from his Streets of San Francisco days.
Oh,
you know,
the hair. The hair.
Oh, it's incredible, but it's so good.
Yeah.
I was surprised how moved I was by it. I got teared up a couple of times. I only had to go to the bathroom once, and it's a 3-hour movie. That's a record
good job,
for me.
Margo.
So I loved it. I know I'm late to the game, but I really enjoyed it.
Oh, I'm so glad you loved it. And the woman on the horse is probably, I think you're thinking of Valkyrie.
Yes.
From Thor Ragnarok.
I did see Thor Ragnarok. I don't know why I didn't recognize. I don't know. There was a lot of people in there that last
for
fight
sure
scene that kind of show up. Black Panther and like, wait, what?
What did you think about the scene where like all the women get together? Did you remember that in the fight scene? There's like a scene where Peter Parker like passes the Infinity Stones or whatever to Captain Marvel. And then he's like, how are you going to get it over there? And like all the women basically get in formation and they're like, she's got backup. And everyone was like, there was a lot of action on Twitter where people were like, that's pandering. And I was like, I'm into it. I don't care. They're pandering to me and it totally worked.
It needed more Captain America. I wanted more Carol.
Yeah.
I did, because I didn't see her movie yet, so I wanted to see more of her because it seemed like she had the best powers.
She's super powerful. That's why you hardly see her in the movie, because she would just show up and destroy everybody and win in like 5 seconds.
And then walk away. Yeah, there'd be no movie.
Yeah.
I was, especially at the last, I mean, no spoilers, but at the last scene, I found it very, very moving. It was a really nice way to end it. Mm-hmm. So I have to say it was worth my money, worth my time. Like I said, as you could tell, I'm not a big Marvel or DC person. I don't know the difference, but I really enjoyed it.
Well, I'm so glad. I'm so glad you finally got to see it. And I really liked that movie too. I really enjoyed it. And I've seen almost all of them. I think the only one I haven't seen Thor 2, and I haven't seen the very first Ant-Man. I didn't see the first Ant-Man.
Neither did I. I didn't see Thor 2. I saw Thor Ragnarok, and I saw the second Ant-Man.
Yeah.
And my cat is now sitting on my notes. And what was the other thing I wanted to talk about? Oh, The Lonely Island, the unauthorized Bash Brothers.
Oh, that was on my list too. I'm so glad you brought it up. I knew it.
So it's on Netflix. It's Andy Samberg and his writing partner, Akiva Schaffer.
Yeah.
I think that's his name. And Maya Rudolph is in there. And it's basically about Jose Canseco and Mark McGuire. And it turns out Andy Samberg was born in Berkeley in 1978. So he would have been 10 years old when the Bash Brothers were a thing.
I think all three of them went to Berkeley High.
Oh, is that right?
I think so. And so I think they met in high school, the three of them.
And they just get that. I mean, it's my friend, my neighbor, Best Neighbors podcast, Erin next door, doesn't like baseball, is not into sports, didn't live in the Bay Area. And she thought it was hilarious. She totally got it. Because it's just like goofy videos, songs and videos. But I just love it. Like, I'm Jose Canseco. And it's like, hi, I'm Mark.
And I'm
Mark is so boring. McGuire is such a boring guy.
And
bless his heart.
And, you were probably living here at the time. Were you living here at the time?
I worked at Stonebridge Mall.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's a point where he mentions Blackhawk, which is this neighborhood right next to Danville, which is like super wealthy and exclusive.
Yes.
Jose Canseco and Mark McGuire, they lived there with their wives, and their wives would shop at my store. Mm. And Dennis Eckersley's wife would shop at my store. And it was like, I knew all the players.
Yeah.
I was totally into the A's at the time.
Yeah. And I think that's the thing. They were on a streak, and the Bash Brothers were a big fucking deal here. And the A's were a big deal. They were in the World Series, 88 and 89. And, my family was always like more of a Giants family, but I worked with all these guys at the movie theater, and they were like, do you want to go to a game with us? And I'm like, yeah, I would, because sure. And we would always go to A's games, and I had my A's hat, and everybody, we were all like A's obsessed here. And I just think the video, it's on Netflix right now. It's only like a half hour, right?
Yeah, 30 minutes.
It's funny as fuck. It's just so funny. And like you said, I don't think you need to be a baseball fan. And like the music is really hilarious. And I've been singing one of them for like 3 days. The one where there's like, shake your nasty butt.
Shake your butt. Shake it in half. Shake it in half.
Shake 4 parts of your butt. That doesn't make sense.
I'm like, I'm getting kind of tired of this. I love it with the Kathy Ireland. He has the cutouts of Kathy Ireland in his bedroom. There's like 100 of them, and then he has a pole up his ass, the broom up his ass.
You're gonna make me laugh so hard. I was crying.
Oh my God. It's very juvenile. I have to say, it's silly. It's juvenile, but if you just want 30 minutes of giggling, it's on Netflix. It's so because he did that. What was the movie that Andy Samberg did? The Pop Star movie.
Pop Star, Never Stop, Never Stopping, which I think is hilarious.
I think it's underrated. I love that movie.
Yeah, we should do an episode about it because
we should put that on the list.
I would love to talk about it and introduce people to it if they haven't seen it. And the part you're talking about with the Kathy Ireland kind of.
I laughed so hard.
I laughed
was
so
gasping.
loud because I tend to watch stuff after my son like goes to bed, and I laughed so loud that he came out and he said, "Too loud, mommy," because I was just rolling on the ground. It's so funny. And my husband's been walking around talking about silk robes and kimonos, and it's just
I gotta watch it again.
Yeah,
I gotta watch it again tonight.
It's a big hit in this house.
We didn't know, or we just didn't. Nobody talked about it, but they were roided out of their goddamn minds, and that's why
Yes.
they were so powerful. Because everyone's like, "Well, what was their deal?" I'm like, "They just hit a lot of home runs, which is more exciting than a pitching duel any day. I want to
Yes.
see home runs, yeah." But they were huge. They were big guys,
Mhm.
and yeah, especially like, "Hi, I'm Mark."
Well, and what's crazy is at first they weren't, right? They were just like normal looking dudes, but then as they start doing their drugs, they start to get really huge, and then they're like, "Nah, man, we're not doing drugs." Like,
No, and Jose has a twin brother. He had a twin brother, Ozzy, who played in AAA. Who never—I don't know if he ever made it to the majors, but Ozzy was like half his size,
right,
and he would walk around like, "No, I'm not doing nothing." Like, what?
right. Barry Bonds is the same.
Yeah,
Oh God, it's so funny. Now I'm just gonna go watch it again.
I'm gonna watch it again tonight.
Where can people find you on the internet, Margo?
The best place to find me is on social media, Brooklyn Fitchick. That's for Twitter and Instagram. I don't really visit Facebook very much, but I do have a blog if you want to visit it, and all those shows that I work on, I put stuff there, and that's at brooklynfitchick.com.
And you can find Dorking Out at dorkingout.com and Dorking Out Show on Twitter and Facebook. And you can subscribe on Apple Podcasts, and you could leave us a review. That would be amazing because most of our reviews are for the old co-host.
Yes, please. If you like what you hear.
Yeah, we have like a whole new show now, basically. We need new reviews. And you can find me at thesoniashow.com, and I'm on Twitter at thesoniashow. And this was super fun, as always, talking about speed with you. I've heard that relationships based on intense experiences never work. So I'm glad we were able to do this, Margo.
I can't top that. That's too good.